how to set realistic financial goals. Now, no one has really taught this, and it's so important that you start getting a gap in your life. Where are you and what do you want? And you as parents start training your kids as soon as you can. When those kids start getting goals, even $50 a month, $25 a month, and then bring it down to $25 a week, $50 a week, you're going to start embedding a very different kind of child who's paying attention to money versus being, even the small age, you call them trust fund babies. They get what they want. They never have to understand where the money is driven from. Where does it come from? So let's talk about a financial goal. What makes it a reality? Number two, why most financial goals fail before they even get started. Welcome to New Year's resolutions. Very similar. And then lastly, how do you start setting financial goals? What are some structures that you can actually put into play as young as 3 and 4 years old? My kids started businesses when they were 3 and 4, and they were little things. Like my daughter started a little art business, building little wallets. My son did a little smoothie business. I mean, we're talking little stuff just to get them to make money. The easiest thing that kids can do is sell your stuff. And if you don't have stuff, have them just sell other people's stuff. I had a 9-year-old at our big table in April 2026. And he came, didn't know my mom brought him along. He's 9 years old. And he started realizing there's a marketplace and he needed to sell stuff. So I met him at our table and I said, why don't you just sell my stuff? And we made a deal where he got a percent of everything he sold. He sold over $600 in a day and a half to a bunch of people. So for me, it created a little sales rep in the room. He made money, I made money. And then with that money, he gave charity, which was awesome. And then he started his first little Roth IRA. So there's so much you can do with kids if you get them involved and have them start seeing the world of money versus being behind you just handing things to them. So what sets a financial goal? You've got to set the right financial goals. So when you talk about your baseline, and again, if you don't know how to even do a gap analysis, you want to download the Millionaire Maker, read up to chapter 3 where we talk about your baseline. So the baseline is where are you now? And you're going to have to get really grounded in this. It is what it is. How much do you make and how much do you spend? And if you're making less than you spend, the obvious answer to me isn't live within your means, it's grow your means. Go learn to make more money. It's the best gift you'll ever give you and your family. So once you know where you are in your baseline, you want to start saying, well, where are my Freedom Day goals? You start with income goals, and then you just want to start with low taxes for you adults, and then you want to start with what your investments are doing and how you set those goals. But what happens in a gap, let me explain what a gap is and why it's so powerful as a tool to help set goals in all areas of your life, quite frankly. Because what happens internally, intrinsically, is you have a baseline. Here's where you are and here's what you want. So call it health. Here's where you are, here's what you want. A properly set goal creates tension, and that tension is what we call motivation. You want to get up and you want to go get it, right? So a properly set health goal, you want to get up and go to the gym in the morning. You want to get up and eat healthier food. You want to get up and do the things to get the goal. If it's an improperly set goal where you're making hardly anything and you want to make 10 million, it's too big of a stretch. You don't know any of the variables in between, and you don't know the stages in between and who you have to be and how many people you have to hire. And do you need an organization? There's so many variables. So set very appropriate goals in the gap and teach your kids how to set these goals. And then within there, you say, well, what am I going to do? And right now, let's just talk about income. What are you going to do to make money? What could you sell to someone? Different way to phrase that, better way to phrase that. What problem could you solve? How could you serve somebody's life by helping them solve a problem? And this is I'm going to say as small, but there's no judgment in that, but it's as small as, can your kids start babysitting, nannying, cleaning a house, raking a yard? I mean, like, all of you have skills. And you women, I'm going to pick on you because you just tend to give away all your advice for free. You can call yourself a coach, call yourself a counselor, but all you do is talk for free about your opinions. If you structure that into a financial skill set as a business, as a coach or a mentor or a guide or an advocate or whatever you want to call yourself, you make tons of money. Any of you that have medical skill sets, if you're a nurse, I mean, what else could you do? You could do medical IVs. I mean, what's prominent right now is all the Ozempic, all the extra shots, all the peptides, all that could be hundreds of thousands of extra revenue if you change the way you're making money. So think about where your financial goals are and set some great tension in there. Why goals fail so quickly is there's no structure to the goals and they're improperly set. There's no tension to it. And I can tell you, having a coach and a mentor, somebody to guide you on how to set a goal is critical. goal. I remember one of the first things Bob Proctor had me do when I was 21 years old is I went through his goal achieving program on how to set a proper goal. How do you set an A goal, a B goal, a C goal, and how do you set SMART goals? That's a simple one. How do you do very specific, very measurable, achievable, realistic, and have a timeline? So if you just think SMART goals, I mean, that's an easy way to think about how do you set a goal that you can track, and you've got to write it down. One of the biggest mistakes why people fail is they think about it, they don't write it down. And I'm not talking type it. There's a proven model that you writing is connected to your brain. You typing is not. So you want to actually make sure that you actually want this goal and you're going to do the work that it takes to get it. Another great book to read, which I typically never like move you away, but go ahead and get the Atomic Habits book. What a great book to go back through your habits that are reinforcing your goals. And a lot of you have little subtle things that you do every day that actually topples your choice to get a goal. And I'll give you one with money before we move on, is a lot of you wake up in your day and all you do is react to everybody's requests. You've got all these texts that come in. I need this, I need this, I need this. Then you open up your email. I need this, I need this. So half of your morning is just reacting and responding versus get up quietly, your journal, your guide, your goal setting, and say, what am I going to do to generate for my day? So when you start your day generating an energy versus responding and reacting to everybody's requests, you'll get a very different day in your life. So while you're here, I want you to subscribe to my channel, click that notification button. I want you here 5 days a week. Share this with a lot of people. It'd be fun to do this whole goal setting through the summer to see if you can get a 90-day goal. Do it with your family. Get a 90-day goal. And lastly, how do you actually track it? So you can open up a spreadsheet. You can do it on big flip charts. When my kids were little, I would get them each one of those really large, Post-it flip charts, and we'd write all over it. Like, what's their financial goal? What is it per week? What is it per month? Ideally, if you're going to do, say, a 90-day goal, I would reverse engineer it. So say the kids want to make it $1,200 for the summer. Well, then that's 3 months. That's May, June, and July, or it's June, July, August. So then how much is that a month? It's $400 a month. How much is that a week? It's $100 a week. How much is it a day? That's a $20 day. So then you start thinking, well, what can you do for $20 a day? It makes it realistic. So you want to back into that model to show kids yourself that it's doable. And if those numbers don't reverse engineer very right, then your goals probably, the motivation tension isn't going to be in your baseline to your goal setting. So give it a go. Grab the journal, again, like I said. And if you need some motivation, call our office. We always do one-on-one appointments at 775-588-9200. Come with your gap analysis so we can see what you want and we can help adjust for your success. If you have any questions, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL. Ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.